Faust,
Yes.
Joe Mullenix,
Present.
Dave Moon,
Here.
Patricia Russell,
Here.
Ron Rylance,
Here.
Dennis C., absent, and Drew Stevenson.
Here.
Okay. First on the agenda, reading and approving previous month's minutes.
I make a motion that we suspend the rules and dispense with the reading of the minutes.
I'll second it.
Okay. We don't need a roll call for that.
Just all in favor?
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
It's unanimous.
Easy.
Okay. Old business, none. New business, rezone parcel 520828409005000000
Six.
6. I got to put my glasses on. Commonly known as 320 West 8th from B1 to I1.
Anybody here for that?
Yeah, that'd be me.
Come on up. Now, real quick, these two parcels are joined, so we may as well hear
Hear from both of them, yeah.
from all of it all at one time, so.
I'm just from the end of it, but my building's connected to it,
Okay,
and I got the letter in the mail, so that's why I'm
so
here.
you're the heating and cooling?
No, I'm the spray foam.
Okay, so you're on the other side.
Yes, yep.
Do you have any issues with,
I mean, how would it affect me?
I don't see how it would affect you at all.
Well, it had
Yes,
to-
sir.
Does anybody know what his zoning is now?
Yeah, it's B1.
His zoning's B1?
Um,
Because when he looked it up, it said it was I1.
Yeah.
okay, do you know what his zoning is?
Okay, so if you look at the end, let me go to that paper real quick. 'cause I
So
have
are
the-
you in the little building then?
I'm in the big building at the end,
Yeah, you.
Okay.
You're down,
There's a
okay,
big
gotcha.
building there.
but it is connected to that building.
Right.
Is it this one?
Yep.
Over here? Okay, so on the 320 West 8th, half, I don't know why they did it this way, but they apparently got that north-south alley vacated, right where the buildings are,
Okay,
and half of that parcel is I1, and then the other half is B1. So his building is technically I1, but there's like 2 or 3 different buildings on there. Oh, those are all connected?
So this has a U-shaped driveway going through.
Oh, okay.
Storage units here, and then my building is the line. And then that's where my building starts. These are, but they were built together.
Oh, okay.
And then, I don't know, when they were sold separate. Like this was separate, and that, I bought that separate.
So I wonder why they just didn't do a,
Not great.
Sure, and even actually. I
think you better check on this
before you do anything.
Better table this one.
okay.
Like when I get my mail for there, I always have to tell people 320 because my door says 320,
Right.
but technically my address is 324.
That's,
But I don't know if
Crazy.
it's because they're connected.
it's probably because of that. So it won't affect your building since you're already I1. It's just making that part, that's the B1, would be the I1.
So my question is, if it's not going to affect him, why was his address put on the paperwork?
Because
would
that's
he-
the address of that parcel that we're trying to change.
Well, my name,
On-
I actually got a certified letter about this. So it has to be some sort of affection.
Because this is.
they will
when-
send out a certified letter to you because you're in that proximity, you're right next door to it. That's why you got the letter.
Okay.
Yeah, your name is on this parcel right here. Your name is on this parcel.
Okay.
And then this parcel is under bulk storage.
Do you, can I ask who is trying to rezone it?
Bulk
Who-
storage.
Cold storage.
They're actually the ones trying to rezone it?
Yes.
And my other thing is, what would be the purpose of them to rezone it when it's just storage units? B1's perfectly fine, and it's less,
Sir, are you from Bolt Storage?
Yes, sir, I am.
Come on up.
there we go.
We can solve a lot of problems here right now.
A lot of stuff.
I'm afraid I am lost, though. I am representing Bolt Storage. I knew the
So,
office.
do you know why they want to change from
They
B1
just wanted
to I1?
those, either industrial or those, they want them both the same. And I don't know why. Because they just cleaned up the office area to make them offices, but, I mean, no, I really can't say.
So my thing is, for them, it's really not gonna benefit them. It's gonna make it worse because they're gonna have to pay higher property taxes on it being
No.
an I-1.
Actually, it doesn't. So the way the property taxes work is whatever that building is being used for, that's what they get taxed for. Just because the zoning says it's I-1, if there's a house in it, they're getting charged for residential. You see what I'm saying? So, because I've had that question a lot. I've talked to the assessor's office, and they said just whatever the building is being used for is what, so we have a home.
So your taxes don't go by how it's zoned?
No, it goes by what the building
we changed
is
that.
for. Like, we have home occupations, people that work out of their homes. And when the assessor knows that, then they're gonna be taxed as like a commercial business. But it's technically in a residential zoning. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So the taxes doesn't have anything to do with
So
the
if I was
zoning.
to not rent out any of my units on my part, and it was for personal use only storage, it would be zoned different?
That would be up to the assessor's office. I'm not.
Okay. Yeah, no, I mean,
I don't
I'm just
do
asking
anything with
for-
the taxes. I just know that's how, the zoning doesn't really have any effect of the taxes, so.
But if they don't know what you're doing out of the building, it goes off the tax record, doesn't it?
Right.
Because I've owned several commercial buildings, residential, industrial, and never once has anybody ever called me to ask me what we were doing with it so they could assess taxes. They always went off of what it said from the tax rate. And then if you were doing something different with it, it was up to you to go up there and tell
Right.
them what you were doing. But never once have they ever called me, and I've probably owned 40 buildings in this town.
Right.
So government officials didn't get out and figure out what was going on? Chocolate. So,
We know now.
I guess what I'm saying is you're both right. She's right. If they know what the proper usage is, you're going to get taxed accordingly. But if they don't, they're going to go off the previous usage
yeah.
until somebody says otherwise.
So it does behoove you.
If you're not
Sometimes,
using it industrial
sometimes it
wise,
behooves you, sometimes
right.
it doesn't
It does
behoove you
not.
to do
Right.
that.
Okay.
Is all the bulk storage stuff, is all of those B1 right now?
Yes.
Yes. And
It's the 2 plots of
214
land that are B1.
North Grant is also B1.
So
And
what is,
I believe that's where the offices are.
what is the stipulations and the rules to be able to switch it to an I-1, which is industrial, from B1?
Um,
I'm pretty sure it's like a minimum of so much land, right?
No,
That should be one of them.
actually, there's, if you read the,
Yeah.
here we
Let's
go.
just get it.
Sorry, I'm just questioning because I
No,
want to
no.
learn too as well. I'm
That's
not-
what we
I'm
are
not trying to
here for.
question you guys, I'm just trying to figure out.
So while he's looking for that, I will tell you that on their application, they put that the request seeks a comprehensive zoning change for the entire parcel, aiming to reclassify it entirely for industrial use. This proposal aligns with the property's current predominant use for industrial
Purpose.
I understand.
purposes and the intended future use. So they might be doing something different in there, and that's why they're wanting it I-1. They didn't really explain other than that, though. But go ahead.
Actually, that pretty much explained it. You want to know what I-1 is?
Sure.
Industrial, so industrial area used for manufacturing, assembly, wholesale and storage. These areas are normally located on the outskirts of the city or in a little or no urban development area, or where it will occur. They should be clean, quiet, free of hazards, objectionable elements, blah, blah, blah. And if there's outside storage, they must have a 6-foot-high wood or chain link fence around it.
Okay, now it does not at the moment. So,
But he doesn't have any outside storage there either.
Storage.
I was gonna say, yeah,
It's all
there is.
outside
It's all outside.
What I mean is like, okay, you know the one down on Duke Street?
Yeah, Hawks, well, right beside where his building is.
They've got all those trailers and cars parked out there and stuff.
Okay,
That's fenced off, and that's that there.
okay.
So behind that,
So if this goes through, will I be forced to put up a 6-foot tall chain link fence? Not at all?
You're just parking your work trucks there and stuff?
Yes.
You're not storing them there, you're just parking them there. It's part of your business.
Well, I mean, they stay there, so technically they are stored.
You're just storing.
I use them,
You're not
but
storing
they-
there.
they do
They're
stay
not
there,
there
so.
and left unattended for weeks and days.
Right,
months.
and it's your property, not somebody else's.
Right, I'm just trying to make sure,
No,
because,
yeah,
I mean, I don't want to put up the fence. I won't be able to turn my trailers around to back it
Right.
in and stuff like that. It won't
That won't
be
affect you.
good for me, so,
that will not affect you at all.
okay, as long as that don't affect
In
me.
fact, as long as you're an I-1, none of this is going to make a bit of difference to you in one way or the other.
Right, well,
I
it would if we were forced to put up the fence.
If you're,
Right, but
if
that's
you
not
were
the-
I guess what
using,
concerned him, to sum it up, is why, I can understand sending the letter to him to notify him of the change next door, but when his address was listed on it, that's what the concern was.
oh.
Well, sometimes.
Yeah, and on Elevate, I just go by what is on Elevate.
No,
So
yeah,
that's why, and it's, on Elevate, it says 320.
Well, I'd rather be here and learn and know
Sure.
than to not at all,
Right.
and something happens, so.
CYA,
What's that?
cover your butt.
Oh, right, right.
CYB,
That's why I
but
brought him
I
too.
was going to throw A out there, you know.
Spell that.
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah. So, I mean, with that being said, as long as it don't affect me and I'm not forced to put up any sort of fence, I'm good.
You're not using your building for industrial uses.
No, I mean, it's just storage for all my
Right,
work
so
equipment and
you're,
stuff.
you're
so.
just fine. You'll,
Okay.
you'll be all right.
All right, as long as you guys all say that. All right, thank you very much.
Yep.
Thank you.
Well, my question is, they want to make those buildings, I mean, they are office buildings, so that can be industrial too, as long as they're offices? Okay, I don't know, I'm sorry, this is all Greek to me, so,
No, that's no problem.
okay, I just want to make sure of that. Okay.
Which they were offices before, right?
They were,
It
yeah.
was an insurance building.
Absolutely, as my daughter's insurance, so.
That's why I don't understand why they're trying to change it.
I think it's just convenient. They
want it all the same
Because
thing.
If they
Want
change
it all
it
the
now, they
same.
can do whatever they want with it later.
Well, I mean,
Really?
isn't that the question? And why are they changing why are they asking for a zoning change without explaining what they want to do with the buildings?
That
Yeah,
could be
they
a good
didn't.
question we should
Because you
ask.
Yeah.
change it to industrial, and
Oh,
they're bound only by the limits of an industrial zoning.
Didn't they have an explanation of what they was gonna do?
They don't
It
really
didn't
say.
say something there?
And
No.
there's houses.
I thought you read
across the
something.
right. Well,
There's-
that
there's-
whole road down through
It's
there is industrial.
Industrial.
Right.
Yeah,
There's
because you
only
got
one
Thrush
house right
down there that
across
runs
the street.
Yeah,
all the
yeah,
way. So
address on
right.
that whole side of the street
Grand
is
Street house.
industrial.
Yeah.
So there's
Right.
no
For the most
taking
part.
back
This one
Right,
just
and-
happens to be,
For mine on, yeah.
B1, but-
Change zoning based on
Yeah.
information.
Right.
Well,
And I
so-
understand what
And
you're saying.
I think it's also because half of the parcel is the B1 and then
Right.
the other half is
This
the
one.
I1. So they're just
All the
wanting it
same.
all to be uniform. So, and probably, yeah, but,
Is there a way we could ask
Smell good.
just what their potentials are in the future for it, or
So they can
to,
ask them anything they
like,
want.
what the
They don't-
reason?
They don't have
They
to,
don't, okay.
they don't have to provide a reason, they can ask
Right.
them.
Just like you don't have to approve it.
Right.
well, you know, we're just an advisory board anyways, right? No, I mean, seriously, we are.
Right, right.
so
We
if
pass
that's.
this
Go.
to city council, and city council will make the final
Yeah.
decision.
This is
on-
PDF they sent
We
me,
just,
and-
we do the legwork.
Yeah, and that's what, yep, that's what I have right here.
totally
So,
appreciate
yeah,
you
because I was
explaining.
reading through
Like I
it.
said, I'm learning, so.
Reason why or not.
No,
Okay.
Yeah, it took me a
no,
while
it
to
just
figure
said
this
for
all out
future
when I first started doing this.
so- And that's what
I mean,
it's
I
on
can
both
see,
of
I
them.
can see
So,
this big and a little piece of it's B. Make them all alike.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Well, I'm the only one that owns the eye in that
Right,
area.
that's what I'm saying. The whole building is pretty much there, the whole side, isn't it? Yeah.
Like I said, his only concern was his address was
Sure.
listed on it, instead of listed as a neighbor, or hey,
right,
this location's wanting to do this and you own adjacent property,
Well-
so it got him concerned.
We only have so many tools available to us, and Elevate is one of the tools that we use the most,
Right.
and that's also a government program.
So anybody can do it.
So
Well, it's never.
Getting
it's
things-
always accurate,
Right.
is what I'm
getting
saying.
things updated
For
and
us,
so
it's
forth.
not.
Yeah, like going to
For us,
American
too.
Legal. It's like going to American Legal to look up codes and stuff like that. If they change, it could be 6 months, 8 months, or they never, new codes never get in there, so,
Right.
yeah.
yeah.
They
just-
answer what your questions were.
Yeah, I think so. I think I'm good. Like I said, as long as I'm not forced to do anything different than what I've already been doing, I'm okay with it, so.
Nope.
Okay, is there any other discussion, questions? Now, are we going to vote on these separately,
Yes,
even though they are connected?
yes.
Yes.
Okay,
I just figured we'd listen to everybody on the same one instead of asking it the second time and getting the same answers. I mean, there's only 4 people here.
Right.
5 people here, and
mean,
I know you're not,
technically,
yeah.
Voting on that
So-
separately, you could abstain from even doing anything to the 320 and vote just strictly for the other address.
214 North Grant. That's the other address.
Okay, do I hear a motion that we change the zoning from B1 to I1 on 320 West 8?
No, it'd be 214 West 8.
Yeah.
That-
No,
I've
there's
gotta do that
two separate.
separately.
Oh, gotcha.
There's the
Okay.
320,
Gotcha.
that's.
I'm sorry.
And then,
My bad.
then the other parcel that we're also going to be voting on is 214.
Yeah,
Well,
that's it.
it's that's what's on my door, but when they sold it separately, mine got switched to 324, and theirs is 320 on the storage unit itself.
So
But then
what?
when you come up to the offices, it's different. You see what I'm saying? From mine on my door, from where it's always been, there's a mail drop box, and that's probably where the units used to drop their, stuff for because it all used to be connected.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, so technically under Elevate, mine is 324.
I'm sorry, 'cause the
okay.
address I got is 316 West.
That's probably the offices then.
Well, okay.
Maybe, I'm not positive.
No, the offices are on Grant.
So it'd be a totally even
Yeah,
different.
214
Oh,
North
that's the one
Grant.
that you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So where would
Confusing mess.
320
All right, let's say we try this instead.
be? Sorry.
Parcel 52-08,
Now you're
28-04,
just confusing us.
003, that's the first one.
The parcel
that
on
one.
West
Well,
8.
yes, we'll vote on that one first.
Okay. Okay, so the motion is still on the floor to change
I second the motion.
that one.
I second the motion.
Okay, roll call, please.
Hold on, let me write that down. Okay. All right, Rick Day,
Yes.
Joe Mullinex,
Yes.
Dave Moon,
Yes.
Ron Rylance,
No.
Patricia Russell,
Yes.
Drew Stevenson,
Yes.
Sandy Fast.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
Now let's do the other parcel with all those numbers except this one's 02 instead of 03.
The one on North Grant.
okay. Do I hear a motion to rezone parcel 520828 409 000 016, commonly known as 214 North Grant, from B1 to I1?
I will second the motion.
Go ahead. Roll call.
Rick Day,
Yes.
Joe Mullinex,
Yes.
Dave Moon,
Yes.
Ron Rylance,
No.
Patricia Russell,
Yeah.
Drew Stevenson,
Yes.
Sandy Fast.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
And now we'll go to city council on the first Monday of the month. And so this
So
all
not
be
next week, but the week
discussed.
after.
What's that?
I said not next week, but the week after.
Right.
Okay, now should I show up for that one, or,
Do you have any concerns left?
I mean, not if I'm not affected?
I mean, if you're okay with it, there's absolutely no reason to show up to that.
And it's already on the minutes, it's being recorded, so if they try to make you do something to the new.
Right.
Oh, yeah, no,
I'm
I
on the
think
city
it's
council, by the
I
way.
mean, that's-
yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm on the city council.
Awesome.
So, no, you're
You're good.
fine.
Okay. Well, thank you
Nobody's
guys very
come
much.
knocking at the door going like, hey,
No, I think you're covered with them.
You're good.
Is that all for that business?
Yes.
that's it.
Thank you all.
You're done.
Unless you guys want to sit around and listen to an alley closing.
I got stuff.
No, really, these are, really-
I know, I've done some.
Thank you.
I got one question. I heard you say something about another one. Do I have to show up to it, or another meeting? No?
Um,
Okay. The Dole usually tells me, and,
Okay.
like I said, I'm just a third party type thing.
like I said, we are an advisory board to the city council, so the city council will go over this again.
Okay.
If they have questions and stuff, it would be very helpful to have the person that's requesting it
If you do anything.
there. I mean,
Sorry. Yes.
I mean, somebody has a reason for wanting to do this, and if the city council wants to know the reason for that,
Okay,
that would be very helpful.
okay, well, then I will get in touch with them and see if they can give me a reason, for sure, because all I'll do is text them, actually.
'Cause, yeah, like I said, I don't know what questions the city council may ask them. It could be
Okay.
anything, but
Okay,
ultimately it is up to them, so.
okay, so when is that meeting again?
The first Monday of the month, what's the date on that?
First Monday? of the
2
month?
weeks from Monday.
So like the
Hang on, I'm getting it.
7th or something?
The 6th.
The sixth.
November 6th.
Yep.
At
Yep.
6 PM.
Yep, right here. Yep.
Okay. I will be there then if I need to. I'll be here.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. Have a nice evening.
Educational.
Okay, the next item of business is vacating an undeveloped alley between parcel number 520827, 215, 001, 000, and 520827, 215, 002-000-016, commonly known as 114 and 116 East 8th Street. Is there anyone here?
No. Hold on, let me finish writing this.
Nope.
Okay, so Michelle and Ryan Need, I believe is what their names are. They are wanting to close the alley because they own 114 and 116, and the structure that was on 116 was recently tore down, demoed. So they're just wanting to combine the two lots. There is a garage still on 116, but it's obviously far away from the alley. But they're just wanting to combine the two lots, and there was no remonstration from any of the utilities or anything like that, so.
Okay, and this is all good with the utilities?
Mhm.
Okay.
Is that an alley that runs behind that property?
No, that is the railroad tracks.
Railroad tracks,
Yep.
okay. Because I see one light pole back there, but I imagine it's for some kind of
Yeah,
street
and
light or something like that. It's
If
not-
something happens
They-
in the ordinance, the utilities always have their
Right.
easement rights, so.
Okay.
I didn't even think it was an alley.
Well, a lot of our alleys aren't really alleys.
Aren't. Okay. I make a motion that we vacate the undeveloped alley between 114 and 116 East 8th Street.
I'll second that.
Okay, roll call?
Rick Day,
Yes.
Joe Mullenix,
Yes.
Dave Moon,
Yes.
Ron Rylance,
Yes.
Patricia Russell,
Yes.
Drew Stevenson,
Yes.
and Sandy Faust.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Now, the next thing on the agenda is discuss the fence permit.
So I just wanted you guys to look through that, just make sure that I had everything that you guys wanted with the new changes of the ordinance. I didn't know exactly what you guys wanted because I didn't.
I
wasn't-
did look at it
yeah.
today.
But, so I did pretty much what all the applications have on them. So my biggest concern was, where's it at? Surveys. Are we going to require a survey for these permits? I talked to somebody down in Plainfield. He's been the zoning administrator and building guy for years. I think he said it was like 12 years. And he had said that they had started doing these fence permits, but it became too much of a hassle. And because his boards were wanting the surveys and wanting like extra things. And so just to be sure that the people getting the fences are not going over on the other people's property and all those lovely things that neighbors can do. But, so he was like, I don't think a fence ordinance is or a fence permit is the best idea, but then he also was telling me about some of the different ordinances that they have to go through that are completely different from us. Like corner lots, they can't have fences over 6 foot on the part where the sidewalk is or where a street is. And I was like, have you ever looked at Elevate or any kind of map of our parcels here in Peru? Because they're all like a lot smaller than what Plainville is.
Yes, it's very hard when you're talking to somebody from that size of city.
Right.
Versus ours. They just,
Right, they don't understand that.
and
There's
a lot of their older
different-
stuff is down in like a district, and they have all this other stuff built around it, which is
Yes.
larger lots and stuff like that.
Right,
We don't have that luxury here
right.
in our finite amount of space.
So while I was working on this, I just wanted to make sure, I'll obviously leave the survey part, but do we want to require a survey or?
I don't think so. The only thing that this was meant to do in the first place was to have them get the codes so they know what they are, so we eliminate that, well, you built a 6-foot fence in front of your house, you got to cut it down.
Right.
That was a huge pain. It's been a pain every time we've had to do it.
Right.
And this is only designed to eliminate those problems.
Maybe you should suggest they get a survey?
What?
Maybe they should suggest they get a
I
survey?
always suggest, if
Because
they're
if
not
you put
sure,
fence on somebody else's property, you're going to have a problem.
right. And that's what I tell everybody that's came up to me. I always tell them, I always suggest a survey, and I understand surveys are expensive. But if you can find your property line, or if you know the whereabouts, go like 2 feet in from your property line, so you know that you're not going on anybody's
Just both,
property.
make sure both agree where they are
Right.
And a lot
And
of the
that's another-
fences,
for the survey, yeah,
most of the fences I see going up are not new fences.
right.
They're replacing the fence and so forth.
Right.
So-
You don't have to require it, maybe suggest, if you don't know where it is, get one.
Right.
That's just a suggestion. You can't really
Yeah.
require them to.
Right.
So,
So,
but I just wanted to make sure that I had everything on there.
It looked
that you
fine to me.
guys Would want, if there's any other information that you think I might need.
like I said, we're not going to review them or anything like that.
Okay.
This is merely to mitigate problems that can come up in the future.
Right. Okay. But
And then-
I just wanted to let you guys know that it was there, so.
Well, we were getting so many questions on the fences and people building fences and not checking anything. That's why this came up, was just, let's try to cut
Right.
that kind of stuff out of there and make it easier on everybody.
Right,
A little more work on you, but,
right.
I mean, really, how long is it going to take here's the codes? You can even have them printed out and ready to go.
Oh, yeah,
Here's
I
what
do.
Here's what you need to do if you're putting up a fence.
Right.
Make sure
Okay.
your contractor knows it, and then we don't have to keep coming back looking for variances and stuff like that.
Right.
If there's no fine, no nothing for not getting this permit,
No fee
we'll
permit.
ignore it.
Then they deal with the city and code enforcement. We're making it easier on the citizens.
Okay. Okay, well, that was just a discussion, so there's nothing to vote on.
Okay, so next thing, this is not on the agenda. I don't know if we need to amend the agenda so Jennifer can come up here. I don't know how you guys wanted to do that.
Well, wouldn't this just be in public comments?
Yeah, okay, that's what I
Let's just
figured,
go
but I
straight
just
public
wanted to double
comments.
check.
That'd be good.
Instead of,
So we have Jennifer Maggart here. She is wanting to propose a new ordinance to allow chickens within city limits. This is, the little packet that you guys have is just a rough draft of what she's done. She's done a lot of research. I sent an email out to you guys before I left work today. But that's just for your information only. But she just wants to know if you guys have any questions, like what she needs to have prepared for because she's going to be on the agenda next month. So what she needs to have prepared for you guys, if you guys have any questions or suggestions. I left her email in the email that I sent out to you guys, so that way you can get a hold of her directly. But you can always get a hold of me too, and I can get a hold of her as well. But if you guys,
now, you sent us the email
yes,
with all the other cities with their,
yes. That's all her research that she's done.
I have one question on that.
Member Persky.
Did you contact any of their code enforcement officers or anything to see if they're having problems. Because just because you change the ordinance, that doesn't mean that neighbor A is going to complain left and right, then neighbor B starts complaining. And that can really escalate quickly, which also puts a huge burden on code enforcement officers having to keep running out there and so on and so forth.
I plan on talking to our code enforcement. I know I've spoken with him before, and he's picked up like an occasional like pig or duck or something, which he usually has to get rid of right away because he doesn't have the facilities
Right.
to keep them with dogs. But other than that, it's not like rampant here right now. I can say that in the last week, I have heard of at least 7 different people that have flocks in town already, which I think they need to be not punished for that, but like if they have not received complaints already, I feel like they should be worked in. But they're already here. There's people selling eggs in town. My husband saw a picture of that today, so it's already here and it's completely unregulated. I've talked to Wabash. It's not in their code yet, but I talked to their enforcer and he said they've allowed it over there for years. They never saw like a uproar and issues with it. And that he's researching right now, trying to get it written in so that they have it. And then, like, as far as Logansport, I know they're having a lot of issues over there because they don't have it written in, and everybody thinks you can have them. So I think we should get ahead of the cart, you know? So
That's good.
it would probably be good to do it now before it gets, financially, we're not able to handle it, which I think people should have to pay at least a little bit for a permit to help animal control. And it's not just going to be every lot can have chickens. They're going to have the space. They can't be in a rental or something like that, you know. No roosters, only chickens, no other fowl, no rabbits, no goats, nothing like that.
Now, are they required to be in coops or?
No free range. They have to be in a coop. There's restrictions I've already got on the size, the maximum size, 12 feet off the property line if that's agreeable, 20 feet away from dwellings, yours and your neighbors.
She's done a lot of research.
They have to be,
I'm ready to say that I'm seriously
My
impressed. because-
question is, why do we want
why do we want them?
animals? Yeah.
Because everybody went through the pandemic and we only had a few grocery stores in town. Nobody has access
I
to providing
understand
their
that, but
own
what's that
food.
got to do with the animals in the city?
Well, this is
They're
just chickens, but
prohibited.
I don't care what they are.
I know, I just want to,
I mean, chickens, then you'll be rabbits, then you'll be,
Well, we all have dogs and there's
understanding
research.
there's also permits for dogs and stuff.
Well,
But
there are permits. Why can't there be permits for chickens?
that's what I'm asking.
I
Why
do
we-
have research about how much chickens produce. There would be a limited number, so it wouldn't be anything more than what a normal large-sized dog could produce. I've got all of that in there. I think it should also be on a per-case basis if it's going to have to be inspected before anything is built to get the permit.
I do have one question that I just thought of. So have you spoke to Greg Douglas, the animal control, about any of this?
Not yet. I
Okay.
did not get to it this week, but I am.
Okay, I did make him aware that you're going to be on the agenda next month. So I'm pretty sure his wife is going to make him come. I work with her, so. But I was like, he needs to be there. But I would definitely get a hold of him before the meeting
yeah.
next month, so that way he's more aware of what you're proposing.
Yeah.
Because it would,
I need to know how he's going to be able, what his abilities are.
right. And so that brings me to another thing. Your proposal would need to go into probably my ordinance and his ordinance. I'm not, how does his ordinance
Wouldn't it
work?
go
Do
into
we do
zoning
that?
and?
Do we
Because you
do
would
his
have to go-
ordinance?
Wouldn't you have to deal with it up in the city hall with Mr. Sheets?
Yes, but I'm saying like for the permit part, like who would do the permit? Would that be him? I mean, he's animal control. So,
You
It
guys would have
it
to.
would end up being both of us.
right. But I'm saying,
And
like,
one
we
will
would need
reference the other
to,
one.
we would need to change things in our ordinance and his ordinance.
Yes.
And I'm not sure where his ordinance comes in. Do we do
You would
that?
have to be,
No, that would be
That
him
would be
just
through
going to
ordinance
the.
review.
Okay,
Yeah, it's not a 1-by-1, so it's not.
right, okay.
you guys would run into it, probably Rebecca's team would run into it.
Mhm. Right, well, if it's in my ordinance, then they would do it. But
Because-
it would definitely need to be in his, considering it's
In fact, this
animals.
team and stuff only enforces the ordinance. They don't write the ordinance.
I mean, as far as when they run into cleanup.
No, Greg would be doing the cleanup, animal control, because that's how it is right now. So we issue the citation for the chickens or whatever the
Whatever.
case may be. We issue, the code enforcement issues the citation, and then if they don't comply within the certain amount of time, then Greg is the one that has to go and abate it, because he's animal control.
I'm talking about somebody who might not always take care of it and it gets out of control and,
That would still be Greg, he would abate it. Greg would abate it. He would take the chickens away.
okay.
There are, I did reference like nuisance and, like, maybe you were saying like complaints about other things related to the coop. If people are leaving debris and outside their coops and all that, they have to keep that all cleaned up or that would be a violation. And I also did put in there, if anyone has 3 consecutive violations in a 12-month period, they get their permit revoked. And they, I mean, it would be up to you if it would ever, they would probably never be able to get it back after that, so.
I am thoroughly impressed.
Thank you.
This is a good job.
I
I
don't
worked
think we've
on
ever
it
had
since
somebody come in with
last
this.
Monday, morning till night, so,
Well, you're passionate about it.
yeah.
I mean, I'd like to have chickens myself. It's just, I can see all the difficulties with some people.
I don't want to like bother neighbors at all. I don't want to cause any problems for neighbors, but you
Yeah.
know, there's a lot, like my property is big. I have room, there's a lot of properties that are bigger, you know, there's houses that's been torn down, people with multiple lots, and, you know, they want to be able to use what they have, so not all of us can live out in the agriculture land
Right.
and be able to experience that.
This has been mentioned before, it was a few years ago. And they had talked about lot size to have them and all that. But our lots here in town are really small, so, you know, you get a half a dozen chickens on a 5,000 square foot lot.
So if you see on the proposal, the front page, I really liked this. I was reading through it before I left work today. There shall be no more than 1 bird per 2,000 square foot of land, a maximum of 12. So if it's only 4,000 square foot, then they
You
can
get
only
2
have
chickens.
2.
Yeah,
And there's
That was
also like little chickens, if somebody really has a small lot and they meet all the requirements, the smallest, you could have 4 small chickens in a 40 square foot area, and that includes coop size and run space. So really, it's really flexible if there's, you know, responsible people willing to follow all the other property setbacks and respect their neighbors and everything.
Now, I didn't see, did it say anything about having fences?
There was one thing in, like in Bloomington, they have a rule that if you have them, and they're in your backyard and the neighbors can see them, you are supposed to put a 4-foot fence for, like a visual barrier. It doesn't have to be a fence, it has to be a visual barrier so your neighbors can't see them in the backyard. They have to be put in the coop at night too, so they can't be left out for other things to be bothering them.
when you propose this at the next meeting, then we'll get a panel together to sit down and come up with an ordinance that has all this stuff in it.
Good.
We'll let you know when we do that.
Okay.
So do you want her to kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Make her proposal, this proposal right here, more into the ordinance? I can't talk.
Format?
Yes, thank you. Before the next meeting, because that's kind of why I wanted her to be here, so that way
You
she
know,
knew what she needed to do for the next
Actually,
meeting.
we don't have to do anything like that till after the city council meeting.
You'll have to
So
have Dustin help
you
us
propose
with
this
it.
to us, and then it'll go to the city council. There's no use putting a lot of work into it if they don't pass it, or,
I was just, because, okay, so example, like our ordinances that we change, we always have them in a format. Like,
Yeah.
this is the way it is right now, and this is what we're wanting to change. I feel like it's easier for the city council members to
if we have
understand
it already
it.
written,
Huh?
if we have it already written.
Yeah, because,
Um,
and with this, wouldn't they be able to change it? Or no, they can't change it. Never mind. Forget I said that. They can't change it. During the city council meeting, we would have to redo it and put their input into it, but,
I mean-
Give the changes to Dustin that you want to put in it.
and then have him write it. Okay. I usually just write it and then have him look it over.
Right.
So that's,
You can do
that's
that
why I was
too.
asking.
But he's the one that does the legalese.
Right. Okay. So we don't necessarily have to have it finalized.
I like the no rooster thing.
The no rooster,
Yes,
yeah, most places don't allow the roosters.
no roosters.
And then defining what a chicken is, so nobody can get anything else besides just a chicken.
And nothing other than a chicken. No ducks, no geese, no turkeys, no quail, no peacocks, no other things.
I don't see anything in here about mobile home parks.
Yeah, we might want to add something. in.
Well, if we wrote the ordinance,
Oh,
the
well.
lot sizes would not be big
Well,
enough
yeah.
to
It would be a rental
accommodate that.
property. Mobile home parks would be a rental property, so that would be included in that.
Yeah.
Unless they are on residential,
What?
unless a mobile home that's on a residential
But that's why we said mobile home parks.
park.
Yep, parks.
Yeah.
But I think what she's asking is a mobile home on a single lot in the city.
If they own it,
They got to follow all the other
Right.
rules.
Yes.
Right.
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 But if you're renting from a place, like you're in a rental, then you wouldn't be allowed.
You have to be a homeowner to do this.
Mhm.
I thought of a waiver at first, but then if they were to have to move
Then
suddenly.
you'd have to move the chicken
Yeah.
coop.
They tend to just leave certain things behind.
Yeah.
My only real question, well, I'm not sure how I feel on the whole thing, but I really question a maximum of 12.
Mhm. Which, that's why I put the square footage, because that would be more, I feel like that would be more fair, instead of a lot of places are like, well, yeah, if everybody that has less than a half acre, well, I have less than a half acre, but I have 3 parcels, so that's kind of unfair for.
But I have a
mine
backyard that's about 20 by 20.
Mm-hmm.
And because of the closeness of an apartment, I'm not going to meet them anyway. But if there wasn't an apartment, a back apartment, I'd have been more than the 12 feet.
What do you mean from,
Uh,
so your property it's like near an apartment?
No, well, yeah, the other one's an apartment.
Well, it would,
See.
as long as you're 20 feet away from all human dwellings and 12 feet from
But
the
that's what
property
I'm
line.
saying, I can't be.
And you don't meet the ordinance,
Right.
you can't have chickens.
Unfortunately, yeah, if
So-
your lot's super small, it can't.
Yeah,
There
but
are
that's
gonna
what
be
I'm
some
saying,
people.
there's a lot of them like that, but even the ones that are, I just feel like the maximum should be 6. That's just me. So,
I'll take what I can get in the end, really.
There are some, for 12, there's some people that live in the 2-mile zone that have like 2 acres of land that could handle 12 chickens.
yeah, we got places that could do both, but we got places that could do both of most anything else too.
Yeah.
So,
I like that there are no roosters allowed.
And you can still have eggs without roosters. You just won't get baby chicks.
Right.
There. Okay.
Oh,
Does anybody else
Something to
have
think
any
about.
questions?
Does it say anything about how long they can have, if they're permitted for 12, can they can't have chickens at all as far as breeding?
No, they shouldn't be, I mean, I don't think I wrote breeding in there, but it's.
But, yeah,
can
whatever the
be,
wording is.
It's, I think I have it, for personal and for personal use only, no commercial. I don't know if I put breeding in there or not. I might have no breeding, no, butchering on the property, except, I mean, occasionally you're going to have to call a bird, but I've talked to people that doesn't really, as long as you're maintaining, you should not be having birds dying left and right. But yeah, no regular butchering on the property, so people can't be raising meat birds.
Right.
And then if there is 12, it would help to have 12, in my opinion, because if people were managing their flocks the right way, they can do them gradually for each year. And as those 4 age out, the next year you get 4, and that way you're not having your entire flock having to,
Start over again.
dying all at the same time.
Okay, any more questions, discussion? I
Nice
guess
job.
we'll
Nice
Do we want
job.
to get a,
Thank you.
do we want to get a little committee together before the next meeting and kind of look it over and draft something out?
Yeah, I haven't read this all the way, it might be. Yeah, we can.
Anybody want to volunteer for that?
Oh, I will. Ron?
Okay, you got 3?
Okay.
Ron, you, and Drew?
Ron, Cindy, and,
Oh, Ron.
I mean, I got out of one for once?
Hmm?
I got out of one for once.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys so much.
you're welcome.
I appreciate it.
I make a motion, we adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Well, that's one you can